Shields up, Ironbreakers. We're kind of here coming at you with another video, and today we're going to be talking about Final Fantasy XIV. If you guys remember, in a recent video I said I was going to be getting into the game. I was going to be playing through it. I wasn't really going to be skipping any of the content. Square Enix was kind enough to provide me with a code so that I could play the PC version of the game as well as some game time. And since then, I've pretty much been streaming this game as much as I possibly can over on twitch.tv/Rurikon. If you guys aren't following me there, then what are you doing with your lives, really? No, on a serious note, really do follow me on Twitch. I've been streaming so much recently. It's been completely insane, and it's been fantastic to see the support of the community kind of like rallying behind me and really telling me, okay, this is one of the activities that you should do, and this is one of the more boring parts of the game, and letting me know, like, which parts of the story were going to be more boring so that I would be mentally prepared. So last night, I actually finished the main portion of the Realm Reborn story. What do I mean by that is I finished 2.0. I haven't really started well, I have kind of just gotten started with the post Realm Reborn quests, which I'm told is potentially the breaking point for a lot of players, where a lot of players just get the skip and they move on to Heavensward, which is considered by the community at large, at least from most of the people that have been coming to my stream, like one of the best expansions, Heavensward, and following that we'll be doing Stormblood, and actually following that we will eventually get the Shadowbringers, which I've been told by some people is not only the best expansion, is also one of the best stories in a Final Fantasy game ever. Which is like, I haven't played that many Final Fantasy games. I'll be the first one to admit the first Final Fantasy I actually played was Final Fantasy VIII. So I'm not like a big Final Fantasy lore buff or anything of that nature. I never claimed to be. But I did enjoy the first few times that I played Final Fantasy XIV, which this was actually quite a while ago, because I played pretty much on release, I think, of Realm Reborn. I played a bit of it then. Then I played some more eventually when Heavensward came out, but I never really got as deep into it as I've gotten now. And one of the things that I would like to mention before I begin the topic of this video, which is essentially me telling you my thoughts on the story of Realm Reborn. One of the things that I would like to mention is when I started this, I started a new character, and I started a new character for two reasons. Reason number one, I didn't remember most of the story because, I'll be honest, when I first played Final Fantasy XIV, I just played it like if I was playing World of Warcraft. And the way that I usually play World of Warcraft is I'll put like a video or something on another screen, and then I'll just like, boom, just go through quests, not read anything. Just like, okay, you want me to go kill 10 boars over there? I'll go kill 10 boars over there, whatever. That's usually the way that I play most MMOs. I'll just have something in the background that I'm either watching or listening to, so that I'm not necessarily paying attention. I'm focusing mostly on the gameplay of the game while paying attention in terms of story and anything else to this other screen. And I know that for a lot of people, they might find that insulting or whatever. That is how I played Final Fantasy XIV the first time around, which is why I didn't remember pretty much any of the story. So reason number one for me creating a new character was I wanted to actually pay attention to the story, because a lot of people have said that one of the strongest points of Final Fantasy XIV is its story. So this time around, I read through every main scenario quest. I've read through everything that I've done. The other reason was I wanted to go into one of these servers that are marked as preferred servers, and I do feel that this is important to mention because, you know, your impressions on Final Fantasy XIV may differ depending on how many side quests you've had to do, which in my case, I didn't have to do any side quests at all, because being on a preferred server, you gain double XP, which means you can always keep up with the main scenario quests, and you don't really have to do side quests. Now, that does mean that I was exposed to a lot less of the side content, but I still did some dungeons. I still did, you know, my class quests naturally. So I got some more world background from that. But anyway, I wanted to talk about the main story. I just wanted to kind of give you guys the background of how I did things, so that you know exactly where I'm coming from with the things that I'm saying. So I finished the story last night, and it's like, here's the thing. People are right when they say that the story of Final Fantasy XIV is good. I'm not going to be going into detailed spoilers or anything like that, so if you're concerned about that, don't worry, because I know that right now probably a lot of people are thinking about jumping into Final Fantasy XIV because World of Warcraft weak BFA expansion was fairly weak. And I know that some people are saying, oh, but 8.2 fixed it and this and that and the other. It's like, I don't want to have that argument right now. I'm just saying that I've realized that there's a lot of people making the switch, and therefore I want them to be aware of what they're getting themselves into. So, as I was saying, the story itself of Final Fantasy XIV is actually great. I think it's really good. The stuff that happens in that story was really nice. The problem, and trust me when I tell you, it is a problem. As a matter of fact, I've heard a lot of people say, I haven't done a lot of research into this, but a lot of people have been saying that this is going to be something that they're going to be fixing in future patches and stuff like that. They're going to be significantly changing the Realm Reborn experience. Again, I don't know all that much about that. This is just what people have been telling me in my stream. But again, the problem with the story of Final Fantasy XIV is the amount of filler. One very easy comparison that comes to mind for me is Naruto. When I initially, this was a years ago, I was telling a couple of friends of mine, man, I want to watch through that Naruto thing because I'm not that big into anime. I want to watch through Naruto, and a friend of mine was telling me, okay, so you got to go to this website. They have a guide to tell you which episodes are filler that you don't have to watch because otherwise you're never going to finish watching. And I was like, oh, okay. And so I go and I started looking at the thing, and it's just like so many episodes were considered filler. I was like, oh, wow. And that's kind of how I look at the Final Fantasy story during Realm Reborn. A lot of the quests are needless filler, and I feel that a lot of those quests break up the pacing of the experience really, really badly. Because, like, you're excited about something that is happening in the story, right? You're excited about the plot moving forward. This happens a lot of times throughout the quest, so I want you to be aware of it. And there are payoffs. Make no mistake, there's payoffs throughout multiple points at the story where, like, you really get those feel-good moments where, like, yeah, we totally kicked this thing's ass, and we did the thing, and it was awesome. There's a lot of moments like that. But a lot of the times before those moments, there's a lot of filler quests. There's just so many. And I'm not talking about side quests. That's the thing. These are main scenario quests. Unskippable quests, unless you buy the skip potion and go straight to Heavensward or whatever. These are unskippable quests that you have to do. You can't skip through these at all. You have to do all of them. And like a very easy example was, for instance, last night as I was getting ready to tackle on the final quests of the game. I'm going through all these quests and all these important things are happening, right? And I get to the next NPC that I'm supposed to get to. And I just read the word stew. Stew as in like a meat stew. And I was instantly like, I just caught a glimpse of the word in my eye and I was like, no! Really? It's like you're really getting ready to tackle on the biggest challenges, the most important things in the story, and everything is coming together, and they just break the pacing and tell you like, oh yeah, I need you to go get some basilisk meat because we got to go do this stew. And the problem is that happens so often throughout the main scenario quests that I couldn't help but every time something like that happened, I was immediately like, oh, really? And I realized that this is something that a lot of MMOs have done, which again is the reason why when I played World of Warcraft, I was like, I'm not even paying attention to it. Like, this shit is happening. I'm just like, whatever. Just mark it on the map where you want me to go, and I'll go kill the 10 things you want me to kill, right? That's how I used to play MMOs. It's just this time, I wanted to really focus on the story so that I can enjoy it. And enjoy it I did. There were a lot of very interesting moments. Precisely one of the things that happened throughout the story is that usually, maybe if you're a new player or something, you will see a lot of people running around in a mount that is a mechanical mount, like a Magitech armor mount. And I never really got the appeal of that particular mount because I look at the mount and I'm like, that thing just looks ugly. Maybe it's because I don't have a Final Fantasy background or something. I just don't think that thing looks all that great. I don't understand why people ride around on it. And it's like, while I still personally don't run around on it, I now have that mount as well because you get that when you finish the main storyline. I personally still don't run around it because I really do like my Chocobo. I now understand why people ride on that mount because there is, an emotional attachment that develops throughout the story in that mount. There is a payoff, and like that, there's emotional payoffs for a lot of the stuff that you will see throughout the game, and I think that is fantastically handled. It's just the biggest problem still remains the issue of the pacing. The fact that they will just like, all of these things are happening and then you just like come to a screeching halt. And this is without me even having to deal with stuff like level lockouts, which some players will have to deal if you're not playing on a preferred server. You'll probably reach a point in the story where it's like you're doing your main scenario quest and things are heating up, and then someone's like, okay, now you got to go level up before you can do the next quest. Like, that is probably even more frustrating. That's something I didn't have to do. I always over-level the main scenario quest. But that's kind of how I feel about the story. Like, there's a lot of really cool moments, there's a lot of reveals, there's a lot of fun things, but there's also a lot of things that I just feel don't belong there, and they just should be side quests. Now, to clarify, a lot of people have also told me, and I'm just basing this off of the community that's been coming to my live streams and that's been informing me on what's to come. A lot of people have told me that after I take this final step, which is to do the Post ARR content, which supposedly is still going to last quite a few hours for me to get over that, and it's supposedly some of the most boring content in the game. After that, like, things just start ramping up, and it's all good stuff from there on. Like, once you get to Heavensward, like, things just become great, and from then you go to Stormblood, which is also good, and from then you go to Shadowbringers, which is fantastic, and, you know, I'm curious to see how things develop, but that is my initial impressions, I guess, of the story itself. In terms of gameplay, though, like, I love the gameplay of the game. Like, I think it's, you know, it's a tap targeting based MMO. If you are into those, you know what you're getting into. The main difference from this to something more similar like World of Warcraft would be the fact that your skills have like an order that you have to do them in. You have combos. And that makes your skills more powerful. So you're supposed to do, for instance, in my case, because I'm a paladin, you're supposed to do Fast Blade into Riot Blade into Rage of Halon, which is like my basic bread and butter 3-piece combo. Then there's also the my AoE combo, which is like Total Annihilation, and I forget the name of the other one where my character jumps up in the air, starts slashing like a maniac. So you got an AoE combo, you got single target combo, and you know, then there's all of the other abilities. There's the stuff that you do as a tank, because I just really enjoy being a tank. And yeah, overall it's been a really fun experience. I'm now going to get into the post Realm Reborn content. Gonna do all that. We'll probably come back to you guys, tell you guys about the experience of that as well. But I just wanted to kind of like report to you guys as I progress through the game, to let you know what the experience is like, because I know that right now there are a lot of people that are thinking about making the jump into Final Fantasy XIV. And it's like, basically, if you're someone who has patience, I definitely recommend that you don't skip the Realm Reborn story, because there are definitely some good moments there. There's not only that, but there's, you know, a lot of good gameplay to experience. And if you skip, I also feel like most likely you're not going to know the ins and outs of your character as well. It's going to be a bit of a struggle before you get used to how your character actually plays if you boosted it. Whereas if you just play through it, you know, the thing is still, I don't know about the post ARR content, and we'll see how that pans out. I'll be reporting on that once I finally get to Heavensward, which I predict should probably take me about 2 or 3 days of doing these Realm Reborn quests. But again, we'll see how all that stuff pans out. Are you guys playing Final Fantasy XIV? Let me know in the comment section down below. I have started a free company. I'm not sure how seriously I'm going to be taking it, but hey, if you guys don't have a free company, you can join in. I am in the Chaos server cluster. There should be like free transfers for Spriggan right now, but again, I don't want people to like leave their free companies or whatever. Like, seriously, don't do that. Because again, I don't know, at any point in time, I can just like get burned out or whatever, and when September hits, I will be playing Iceborne, so keep that in mind. But you know, if you want to team up, if you want to join up, because one of the things that I want to do as well is I want to do the raids of Realm Reborn, and right now I just don't have enough people. For the last quests, as a matter of fact, for the last quests of Realm Reborn, I actually wanted to do those in minimum item level, but I only had like 6 people with me in the party, so I wasn't able to do it. I had to do it with synced level and you know, we just kind of tore through everything. It was super easy. And I wanted to experience those a little bit better, but, you know, it is what it is. But at least the raids, I would like to do those. So if you guys are so inclined, I'm in the Spriggan server, in the Chaos cluster, and I am running a free company. So if you just hang out by my Twitch, I'll totally just invite you if that is something that you're interested in. And, you know, Spriggan has new player status, so you can just, like, burn through everything super fast, get to level 50 super fast. And, yeah, that's pretty much all I had to talk about in regards to Final Fantasy XIV. Let me know what you guys think about all this in the comment section down below. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit it up with a like. It helps me out immensely. It helps me out more than you can possibly imagine. If you like my content, subscribe, hit the bell notification icon so that you're actually notified whenever I put out a new video. I'll be talking more about my experiences in Final Fantasy XIV throughout the month of August for sure, because I'm going to continue to play it. And maybe once I get the Shadowbringers, I'll even show you guys, you know, maybe I'll do a couple of tips videos or something. Although I feel like probably all of that stuff's been covered by people that have been playing the game in the community for longer than me. So I don't know. In case you guys are wondering about my class, by the way, I didn't even mention my class. I'm playing a Paladin. No, I think I did mention. I might be trying out the Gunbreaker when we get to 60, so we'll see how that pans out. Thank you all very much for watching. Stay strong. May your shields never break. Peace out.